Welcome to Tibet This Week, where we bring you weekly news edition on His Holiness the Dalai Lama, Tibet and the Central Tibetan Administration. Let us look at the headlines first. Speaker Khenpo's Samten attends 25 years of Science for Monks and Nuns initiative. Sikyong Penpa embarks on official visit to Tibetan settlements in North India, meets with the Chief Minister of Himachal Pradesh. Kalon Gyari, Minister of Security, CTA meets Honorable Shri, Kiren Rijiju. Kalon Norzin Dolma of the Department of Information and International Relations commenced a diplomatic outreach initiative in New Delhi. Dutch Parliament champions Tibetan rights with landmark resolution. Representative Chukki meets with leaders to strengthen support for Tibet. Office of Tibet London hosts workshop for Tibetan University students. New member of 17th Tibetan Parliament in exile, Samten Choedon takes oath of office. With Kapche Samdong Rinpoche as the chief guest, Speaker Khenpo's Samten attended the inaugural program of the Silver Jubilee celebration of the Science for Monks and Nuns initiative that was held this week on Tuesday at Tsering Temple in Dharamsala as their special guest. Chief Supreme Justice Commissioner Yishi Wangmo, Deputy Speaker Dorma Tsering Tekang, Kalwen Changra Dorma Thalam attended the event as esteemed guest. Addressing the gathering, the speaker applauded the initiative of imparting scientific knowledge to Tibetan monks and nuns under the Library of Tibetan Works and Archives. He acknowledged His Holiness the Dalai Lama's far-sighted vision of benefiting humanity, particularly His Holiness's aspiration to forge a meaningful bridge between Tibetan Buddhist practices and modern science. Speaker highlighted the value of a scientific methodology, a systematic approach to problem-solving and knowledge acquisition through observation, hypothesis formation, prediction, experimentation and conclusion, similar to Buddhist approach for practicing Buddhist. Sikyong Penpa of the Central Tibetan Administration embarked on a 5-day official visit to the Tibetan settlements in Shimla, Kamrao and Saton starting this Wednesday. In Shimla, Sikyong met with Sukhvinder Singh Sukhu, the Chief Minister of Himachal Pradesh. Sikyong invited him to the 90th birthday celebration of His Holiness the Dalai Lama and discussed on the registration and the process of transferring land currently inhabited by the Tibetans in the area under Central Tibetan Relief Committee. Sikyong also held a separate meeting with Prabodh Saxena, the Chief Secretary of Himachal Pradesh. Another meeting for the land transfer was held with Jagat Singh Negi, the Revenue Minister of Himachal Pradesh. In attendance were Subhash Kumar, the advisor to this project, and the former Chief Secretary of Uttarakhand State, Jambel Hundup, the Secretary of the Dalai Lama Trust, Secretary and Additional Secretary of the Department of Home CTA, and Amardeep, CTRC's consultant. The same day, Sikyong also met and addressed the Tibetan residents at Rangzin Camp, Sangye Chuling, paid a visit to elderly home, and to Takten Phunzo Chuling Monastery. Kalon Gyari, Minister of Security, Central Tibetan Administration, met with Honorable Shri Kiren Rijiju, the Ministry of Minority Affairs in the Government of India. During the meeting, Kalon Gyari apprised him of matters concerning Tibetan refugees and the CTA, while also seeking support and guidance from the Indian minister. This Tuesday, Kalon Norzin Dolma of the Department of Information and International Relations commenced a diplomatic outreach initiative in New Delhi. The 3-day outreach witnessed Kalon's meeting with 7 ambassadors, high commissioners or chargé d'affaires, 5 deputy chiefs of mission, and several senior officials of 8 embassies or high commissions across 3 continents. During these engagements, she provided an overview of the upcoming series of events commemorating the 90th birthday of His Holiness the Dalai Lama. In her discussions, she emphasized the enduring strength of Tibetan freedom movement, highlighting its resilience amid evolving geopolitical landscapes. Kalon Norzin Dolma was accompanied by Representative Jingme Jugne and Secretary Thundup Gyabo in all these meetings. The Dutch House of Representatives' passage of a resolution encompassing 3 motions on Tibet this Tuesday marks a significant development after a prolonged period. With an overwhelming support on these motions, the resolution underscores the Netherlands' commitment to addressing human rights issues in Tibet. The key motions acknowledges that 1. China frequently commits human rights violation in Tibet and Tibetans are subjected to torture and brutality. 2. Calls on the Cabinet to push for a European Union Special Representative for Tibet and a joint EU-Tibet strategy along the lines of the US Resolve Tibet Act and to inform the Chamber about this prior to the planned EU-China summit. 3. Speaks out that Chinese Communist Party should not have a voice in the Dalai Lama's succession, requests the cabinet to express this signal in bilateral and multilateral forums. Sikyong Tsering and Representative Rijiju of the Office of Tibet, Brussels, has met with the Dutch lawmakers on different occasions. Representative Rijiju welcomed the resolution and thanked the Dutch Parliament for acknowledging Tibet's struggle. The last 2 weeks, Representative Chukki of the Tibet Bureau Geneva met with multiple leaders to raise awareness about critical human rights situation inside Tibet and to strengthen allyship between the Central Tibetan administration and their respective government. Last Friday, Chukki, accompanied by Dr. Gunther of UREC Research and Pinto Topke, UN Advocacy Officer from the Office of Tibet Geneva, met with Arno Compacher, President of the Autonomous Province of Bolzano, at Villa Wittmann. While in Italy, she also attended a symposium held at the university to honor the forthcoming 90th birthday of His Holiness, jointly organized by Chamzeling Centro Rime, the Italy-Tibet Association, the Tibetan community in Italy, and the Italian Buddhist Union. Last Monday, she undertook 2 days official visitations in Germany, where she met with German Federal Foreign Office officials and Anke Oppermann, the director of the Unit of Federal Government Commissioner for Freedom of Religion or Belief. On April 4, Representative Chukki and UN Advocacy Officer Pinto Topke met with Teresa Refinati, member of Senior Foreign Service and the Charge d'Affaires for U.S. Mission to the United Nations and other international organizations in Geneva. All parties who held meetings with Representative Chukki reaffirmed their commitment to support Tibet and the Tibetan people. On Saturday last week, Office of Tibet London, in collaboration with UK WTAG, hosted a day-long workshop for 10 Tibetan university students at Tibet House. The workshop aimed to deepen students' understanding of Tibet's cause and empower them to organize Tibet-related events at their universities, especially in light of the upcoming Year of Compassion. The keynote speaker, Dr. Tsering, lecturer in international relations at the University of Birmingham, offered practical advice on maximizing the university experience in support of the Tibetan cause. Dr. Taral Hamo, national coordinator of UK WTAG, introduced 2 students' projects, one involving a creative engagement with Voice for the Voiceless, a new book by His Holiness the Dalai Lama, and another inviting students to draft handwritten birthday wishes for His Holiness the Dalai Lama's upcoming 90th birthday. On Wednesday this week, Speaker Khenpo Samten of the Tibetan Parliament in Exile administered the oath of office to the new parliament member, Samten Choedon from Uzang Province. Samten Choedon became the new member of Tibetan Parliament in Exile after Member of Parliament Tawa Phungi was appointed as one of the Justice Commissioners of the Tibetan Supreme Justice Commission. Samten Choedon was first candidate from Uzang Province in the reserve waiting list maintained by the Tibetan Election Commission. That wraps up this week's edition of Tibet This Week. Thank you for tuning in. See you next week.